Good evening, and we are here to cast and showcase the Twinlight Zone bracket stage semifinals. It's going to be two exciting matches between Graash and FireLordEthan and Assassine Effect versus David W. We'll start with the former, but to help me along, I'm gonna have with me Yash today. Hello.
Hello, yes. I was not supposed to be here, but I am here now, so that's exciting. Welcome. Haven't expected to get back to this tournament, and yet it's still going on, and it seems like we are in playoffs now, so we don't need to figure out tie breaks anymore, so that's good.
No tie breaks needed, so there's not going to be any ties. It's only the van who wins will move on to the finals, and the one who loses will move on to the third place match. But I think before any of that, I think it would be wise to show how it all transpired in the tournament, let's just say. So, at first, we had 20 players in total, split across 4 groups of 5, and the top 2 advanced. As you can see, Firelord and Lefty advanced out of Group A, while Slavinuk, J. Scarney, and yours truly could not. In Group B, David W. with the clean sweep in Group B, OP Rights taking second place, whilst Akovidi, Roxon, Matt Spy first sadly could not manage it. In Group C, Guggy and Povki making out of it in quite a close fashion, especially for Povki. It came down to one of the last tie breaks, but Povki did advance as well as Gentleman Sally did not, alongside Calumet and Blood Red Yeti. And finally, in Group D, both of the players that we're going to be seeing today actually, Assassine Effect and Graash making out of Group D. Stuart Verdrust, my co-caster, Mr. Soup and Corbett sadly could not make it. But that was only the first group stage. The scores.
Wait, there's more?
Yes, there is more actually. Sounds like a bad infomercial. But wait, there's more. Okay, I'm not gonna do that again. But we had a second group stage. So your score carried on from the first group stage. So however many wins you had carried on to this group stage. And you'd only play the players who you haven't played in the previous group. So, for example, in the group A, FireLordEthan and Lefty both came from the same group, but they didn't have to play each other. There were only 2 matches. And in this case, it was FireLordEthan winning both of the matches, taking first place, whilst David W barely scraping out a win in the tiebreakers against OP Rights. And in the group B, yet again, the same 2 people, Assassine Effect and Graash, both relatively comfortably going out, whilst Guggy and Povki sadly were to perish. And we are back here in the semifinals. No more brackets.
Order a second group stage now and get the playoffs free. So, we got Graash versus Ethan, and we got Assassine versus David.
Yes, we got all that, luckily. So I think let's go to the picks and bans, because there is slight adjustment to how it was beforehand. So you still have 2 bans for each 2 venue sets. So Firelord bans Redwoods and Veranda, and Graash bans Pub and Gallery. And the remaining 8 venues are played regardless, but in this stage, each of one of them gets a multiplication. So you can double the same venue, you can even triple a venue if you're inclined, but both of these players decided not to. We have a slightly different venues. So for this bracket stage, as you can see, we'll have a library 4 out of 8 version. So that's going to be something different.
Exciting.
Yes. And everything else is more or less the same. We have a crazy Courtyard, which is, again, any 407, but it's 415. So that's going to be an increase of time for doing that. But I know, looking at the draft, I know that one thing does excite you, Yash, is double Terrace.
Graash, man, certainly after my own heart. I'm actually interested what procced it, because we have been casting Ethan with Graash in the booth. quite recently, so Graash does know a little bit about how Ethan plays and definitely knows a few more peculiar quirks of his style, I assume. And I'd imagine that Terrace has to be a pick to try to counteract that somehow, as well as, well, the bands.
Just...
However, shall we move on?
Yes,
from
we
the draft?
shall move on, but unfortunately for you, Terrace is not going to be the first venue to be
Aw.
played. It's going to be High Rise. So, High Rise, it's 3 of... it's, it's 3-12 for some reason, but it's 3 of 7. FireLordEthan is going to be on the orange, sorry. Are you ready?
Let's begin in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Now, the highlights that I got to commentate because it was in the last group stage is slightly different. Because it was a 4 out of 8 version. This one, 3 out of 7, a little bit more commonplace in the SpyParty universe. And, well, we do have Ethan starting off with a time ad. It is going to be a green. It does not seem to be seen as of yet. And, well, our flirts are also green. Actually, now that I'm talking through it, 3 out of 7 is a little bit weird, isn't it?
It's usually 3 out of 6, but you have to have both swap and transfer on. In beforehand, it was one or the other, but in this recent tournament, TO, myself, I guess I also suggested this, that it would be for the better to have both of them on and make the sniper watch both of them simultaneously. It's still not a cakewalk for a spy, even in this 3 of 7 version.
So we have to keep on both fingerprints and microfilm. Microfilm and swap both have to be on, right? So
This could be a
everything else
perfect
is
spot for a bug.
It's not yet.
We have a
flirt
drink.
finished.
We do have a drink in our hand, unfortunately. I think that's why we didn't take it. The ambassador was definitely full covering that entire side, but unfortunately we just had a drink in our hands and making that impossible.
If anything, we do still have quite a little bit of time because, well, our added time has just run out to accomplish 2 more missions, one of which I'm going to presume is going to be Banana Bread because why would you not? And, well, the second one, there's a wide range of possibilities still, including 2 of the big, oh lord, the time is running out, let me click buttons. Things
I
in
think
both
that's why we
purloins.
have both Purloin and usually you would see both Purloin and Swap and Bug, just so you have an opportunity to just do, like, you have an option of like last second missions they can do instantaneously.
I'm a bit surprised that Inspects are
Banana bread.
is turned off, but I assume that makes sense because of all of the last second potential in all of the other stuff. There goes the Banana Bread. Now we're just 1 mission away, and there is a highlight talking in our conversation, which is a little bit unfortunate.
Oh, and the highlight onto us in the Bug path. Graash is deliberating on it, but no shot. The safety up was on us, but there's no shot.
The hand was not seen. That path was actually pretty alright.
I have to take a look at this from the sniper side now. So we're walking around here, and we get to this highlight, and the arm is not seen. Well, rather the absence of the arm is not seen. And whilst we can credit this, and Graash certainly does, just doesn't have the conviction to shoot there, and FireLordEthan immediately fires with a spy win of his own.
Eyes away. That has been game number 1. Game number 2 coming right up. We are playing as Green Dress, and we are beginning this game in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Now, Graash picks Fingerprints off, which is probably the missions that I think I would scratch myself. Just because Fingerprints are a little bit harder to get than the Inspects. And also, Inspects, I feel like they bring more to the table in terms of framing, which Graash I'd imagine Graash does not want to move too much against FireLordEthan.
Yeah, already one low light from pathing alone. Red dress there. So this is one of the weapons that FireLordEthan has been able to use against players in basically every single match. Has been able to whittle down the party, but with pathing Ergo, another one bites the dust, and that's one of the problems. He's good enough. This is why it's hard to play, especially versus this time of sniper. Because if you take it slow, he's going to get free lowlights out of the party from from pathing, from general behavior. And if you try to do a fast rush, he's good enough to catch that as well, as we do a green form for 85%.
On the other hand, all of this is kind of conjecture and devised by the community. There's no exact rules on pathing as far as I recall. So Graash just needs to get low lit eventually, and that will pretty much be a free game because usually you're too busy looking at someone else's path rather than trying to figure out if you're unsure the lowlights have been, well, spies or not.
I definitely agree it isn't a perfect play style, but if the player is on form, which of course it's too early to say now since it's only the first sniper game of FireLordEthan, then it definitely can feel suffocating. As we're going to the inspects here, force deduction target blocks one of the statues that we're trying to inspect, and thus, never mind, we're just dead.
Taking a shot. I believe we do get the center inspects, so that's our second mission because we have flirted and we have chased this flirt, or at the very least, we are seen at the same set of pads with our seduction target at least twice.
We got a fake banana bread in.
So
and that was so. Oh, that's the wrong game. So, but we had a fake banana bread at this very moment, and unfortunately for us, the small element is an SDA. So, in FireLordEthan's eyes, we were next to Teal. We did talk to us. We have a BB. We have a banana bread, rather, and we just go. We talk next. We again stand next to her, and then we'll go to center statues. And the behaviorally, sometimes that's just enough. And FireLordEthan has already swapped one of the sets, going up to 0.
Perfectly legitimate shot from the side of FireLordEthan. A bit unfortunate for Graash, but on the other hand, there has been only one person out of the organization, so the chances of them being exactly the SDA are pretty low. Either way, Terrace, here we go. Big balcony. I know how much you like balcony. I know how much the TO likes balcony because we don't get any in either of those sets. But for now, Terrace it is. 3, 2, 1, playing it. This is an interesting choice.
The TO's disdain of balcony aside, Terrace is the closest thing to it. We had a pop 2 of 7 version on the first group stage. That could be also balcony light. No, it's not really the same, if I would say, if I would be honest.
As someone who has had to endure the 2 out of 7 pops, that has been definitely a setup to play and experience yourself, which I probably do recommend to the audience. Either way, we do get a fake banana bread. It is a known fake for both us and the sniper because there's only one double agent and no suspected double agents on Terrace. And we are gonna go to the bar, which is rewarded with a highlight. It seems like
we're trying to frame Teal here. And she was a low lit before, and now indeed, it's down to 2. It's basically a 50-50.
Yes, but I don't think Teal has real, which with this banana bread should probably be enough to get a shot.
Oh, this is a white banana bread. It definitely looks like Wheels is trying to...
Has to be one of them.
Yeah. No shot thus far, which makes me think that Graash is more heavily...
By now the game would be over.
And I think Graash realizes that it's way more likely that Wheels is trying to frame Teal rather than Teal being the spy, and correctly shoots FireLordEthan, bringing it back within 1. I like that aggressive play, but unfortunately Teal was just, especially she got an early low lit from pathing alone.
This has been a real balcony experience. There are 2 targets. One of them has a white banana bread, the other one does not. Well, the Wheels doesn't even have a banana bread, but I guess it has been the double sips in conversations that brought us in, if anything. Oh, well, Graash is back within reach of. So let's see if he can grab it in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
So this set is first to 11, so is going to be quite a long set. So even if Graash doesn't manage to even it out immediately, we'll still have quite a lot of time and quite a lot of venues. And this is his double, so you'd hope to at least go. You at least want to be tied after the 4 Terrace games, as we gather a quick flirt into a bail into the bar.
Now, I'm not saying that I would like to sleep today, but if on the off chance that those players die in regulation, are there any tiebreaks prepared, and if so, which?
Well, there is overtime prepared, so there's gonna be a decisive end to this game in one way or the other. So of course regulation, so the first player reaches 11 wins. So in case that doesn't happen, we have yet another overtime draft. So basically players get again get to pick 6 venues each for 12 games, but you don't have to play all of them. So if there's any point that the player is 2 matches up, the game is just over.
Okay, we are gonna delegate the power line to Kane over here, and we did talk. So now it's just a check for Ethan. There has been no banana bread, so if anything, Ethan knows that probably doesn't have to shoot, because usually you do want that banana bread off.
Don't think this is gonna be. This is gonna take. It's gonna be barely not taking or taking. But yeah, it didn't take.
Actually, Terrace said, ooh, a stop talk. He's gonna get us highlight after a little bit of deliberation from Ethan. However, there's still no reason to shoot. Our only progress on the board is 80% flirt. And what's the time? Slowly but certainly moving towards 0. Our options are becoming more and more slim with each passing second. For example, this investor has just bailed on us.
You gotta throw in a contact here at some point, but unfortunately the DA leaves, which does not help. So hopefully the double agent will come back to some conversation. Oh, that's just a bug.
We're going for a bug that is gonna take, and Ethan is not shooting immediately, which makes me believe that it's either not seen or he's just waiting for banana bread, which he will get now because there's only so much time left on the clock. Graash not gonna talk immediately, but gonna take a little bit of time, gets a green as well, but it only feeds into the shot.
I think that FireLordEthan was well aware of that bug. It was a very brazenly bold bug, to say the least. I'm going through the middle conversation. But again, since there's no contact, there's no real reason to shoot. And you know that the dude hasn't accidentally done fingerprints or bug there. Not bug, there's no contact. And once the contact comes, the shot comes straight after. Good control for FireLordEthan.
The saddest part of the whole ordeal for Graash is, I mean, you kind of wanted to go to mission win countdown because there has been a bug and you haven't been shot for it. It's just good ethics at this point. But unfortunately, all of the suspects for FireLordEthan were not in the conversation where the banana bread was, so kind of options. Kind of whittling down the options to one or frame, which a frame is hard to do when a bug is one of the missions chosen. Either way, Ethan now still ahead and still playing wheels in 3, 2, 1, playing it. I'm actually interested by this. Wheels doesn't get the best dances, but he's lower than most guests at the party, which is very useful when your primary cover is, well, people.
Yeah, but that is the name implies Terrace. There's not a lot. There's no cover apart from the conversation circles. It is quite very, as we point out, very similar to Balcony in that respect.
I've seen some secluded terraces in my life. Either way, Wheels in the back. His lean for bug while you're trying to stand in bug has been notoriously not great. But it only rolls. It only has sprouted affirmations that his bug is actually not that bad because who the hell would look at a standing bug from Wheels? Now, Ethan will not give in to the temptation so far, but mostly because he can't.
It's one of those things, as you mentioned, basically, who in the hell would do that unless you're not watching it and the spy does it? Exploiting those blind spots, or rather cognitive blind spots. His seduction target is nice to come right back to us as after leaving the conversation.
Ooh, you'll laugh when that happens. Eventually on Terrace, where the flirt is very annoyingly placed, you actually have to do it, and you have to go for it rather than... But the venue is just big enough for you to think that you can get it later. Truth is, you kinda never are able to get it later, so... Here, Ethan, picking up the briefcase, getting the first print. Fingerprints, I don't think have been done today yet, which is a good option.
Well, definitely in the first 4 games, neither player has tried for the fingerprints. And the Ambassador's leaving 2 sets of statues with Graash fingerprints on them, so... I imagine Graash will take note of that, but that could be a good way to try to finish the game.
We can even try to go silent. Or even better, with a fake banana bread. For the banana bread credit on someone else. And while we do get the highlight from the fingerprints, there may be a chance that an inspect might get past Graash.
But at the same time, 30 seconds left, and you've seen someone finish fingerprints, and if we don't get as banana breads, we are likely to head to the second set of inspects. That would be very suspicious. We are in the conversation. Here's the contact. We are dead center on screen. Contact is white.
Banana bread.
I don't think a green contact saves us, just for the record. But a white contact kills us for sure. Bit unfortunate for Ethan, however. I don't think that's necessarily something to be angry about, because I'm pretty certain that he's shot on banana bread either way.
I think I agree with you with that as well. I think regardless of what we do there, even if we go to the statues, I think we're dead. Once we entered the conversation here at this point, we were just being stared at immediately, rotating all the way just to see us at the center of the screen. And even that was a green banana contact, I think that would have just been death for us. Which is bad for if you're FireLordEthan, but good if you're Graash.
Who is now within reach of a tie yet again in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Now, if there's anything that I know about pathing snipers, is that while recreating the path an AI takes is pretty hard, just not taking control from the AI and letting them do the pathing, pretty good apparently. And this type of icing has been employed against people for a while. And to be honest, I think this is the first time I've actually seen it work this tournament.
Yeah, speaking of working immediately, a low light, which is a gamble, Because, as you say, sometimes if you AI control, the AI just does nothing and you waste 1.5 to 2 minutes.
Banana bread.
But right now, we got an immediate low light out of a path, and FireLordEthan, maybe a
banana
little.
bread to boot.
Yeah, only
The
one low
funny
light.
thing is, as a spy, you don't know if you're highlight or low light. So Graash, while he can assume that he did get the low light from the laser, he can also be thinking that he's highlight. It's a little bit less important of a highlight after this banana bread, but with the delegate, if this delegate takes, I'm not sure we are gonna end up dead. However, I don't think it will take with how many people are at the bar.
Yeah, it's Kane is going to, which we sent to, is going next. And yeah, timer expired. Oh yeah, and even then, there's another guest before our send. So yeah, minute 30 and no progress thus far.
This kind of is the Terrace experience. There's 90 seconds on the clock. There's not even a single digit of flirt percentage on the screen. And you are a low light. And you either see the low light and chug and get the mission win countdown, or you don't think it's a low light and actually does result in a mess. Are gonna be looking at this double agent, and we are delegating immediately as the double agent splits, so that's pretty cute. Think that would have fooled me, but
We
for
delegated
Ethan.
to a low light, and it's gonna take, and there's an
At least
yeah,
he's
it is
gone.
gone. Then again, FireLordEthan holds a shot, but she doesn't. I was interrupted there, and Graash has tied the set 3-3 with seemingly basically an immediate low light, but then 2 minutes of absolutely no progress, and Purloin isn't enough to make us FireLordEthan shoot a sieve here. We're all tied.
And we are moving to Ballroom. Unfortunately, no more Terrace for the game at least. And yeah.
We can wait always to get
more.
some more in overtime if you like.
Ooh, I do like sleeping more actually. So let's get on with the game in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Now Ethan picking Jennifer. One thing I have to mention is doing an AI control icing of the sniper is kind of like on the same level as time adding to me as a strategy for the spy, because it works once and then the sniper will actually adjust for it immediately afterwards. So I think the fuse has been fired by Graash here, and he got the point, which congratulations. I've seen in the second group stage cast that we did that it doesn't always work out, but here it worked. I'm not sure if it will work again. Now, it does mean that Ethan will be a little bit more careful with his lights in the early stages of the game, so Graash will get an opportunity to perchance do a little bit more in Time of Chaos and around that time. But it's a trade-off. And for now, the trade-off seems to be pretty okay, as Ethan put in some missions on the clock. There's the seduction done, there's the first print as well, and we do have a microphone in hand.
Yeah, we do have a microphone in hand. We definitely rushed the flirt, and with the Time of Chaos, it was definitely hidden. And also have one transfer, but I think it's you that popularized this term. It's the second transfer that always kills the spy. And rather, it's the second one that will determine if the spy is shot.
I love my little statistical abuses of statistics, and this is definitely one of them, because there are a lot of people who get shot for the first animation test
Banana
microfilm, but wow, the banana bread is going to be let off and is going to result in a mission for us. Usually the issue is when you do the first microfilm, you don't have to do the second one.
And a highlight
However,
for us.
ooh, Okay, and the print on the same book.
And immediately a shot.
Trying to be cheeky, but Graash hitting him over the head with a bullet.
I want to see how fresh the second print was quickly, because it felt like we were just rushing. So yeah, the ambassador puts it at 140, and then we pick it up at 120 basically. Yeah, so we basically took 2 prints off the ambassador at the same bookcase very quickly, and that almost always is indication of the spy, and Graash correctly identifies it was the case and is first time up for the free.
Well, let's go, Graash, who now has to, well, hold the lead, playing a sick in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Immediate 180.
And another 180. Oh, and both players are a big fan of just instantly flirting and leaving. It's, especially the type of chaos, it definitely can work. But if your opponent catches on eventually, that could be disastrous, but not thus far. We get a highlight for Sarah statues as we do complete them, and an immediate swap. This is just gonna be a straight rush game from Graash.
Hello, Pirates, is that you? I think early flirt cheese is kind of on the same.
Oh, this is Mr. Countdown.
Well,
50 seconds.
Statue swap.
Yeah, and we're off the wrong angle. We don't watch it.
He's not looking. He's not.
Okay, now it's while rotating, but I think it's gonna be. Yeah, it's not gonna be enough, and took him 50 seconds or less. But Graash goes up 5-3.
I love this game. Oh boy. Graash just straight up sending it. Quick flirt, quick leave, and, well, you know what? The sniper will have to look for it, but that's just yet another thing that the sniper has to juggle in time of chaos.
Yeah, so immediately we go for the flirt, an immediate inspect swap here. Instant flirt here. We break animation, then immediately go to contact. The contact itself is relatively okay. And if FireLordEthan maybe was aware that could be a possibility. Maybe he would rotate it for it faster. But this is nice. This is a very nice thing of actually calling Toby and making the FireLordEthan watch Purloin, and we delay it just enough to.
The more important thing is the choice of statues, because we have swapped on the middle statue on the left, because usually. You have seen this weird angle from Ethan on the right there, all the way to the right. No one usually goes there, except for passing snipers. Because it's so much easier to look at the paths from this angle. However, as we have seen in the Mission Win Countdown, you cannot see that back statue over there. Disney was just thick enough for us not to be able to catch it, and you can't. And by the time Ethan has the presence of mind to go left and check on the statue, we are calling in the Toby to make him watch for that Purloin, because this is a very quick game and Ethan also understands it. He just did not understand how quick we actually were. Fascinating game from Graash.
And indeed, it is fascinating. But this time we have, after this we have Courtyard, and this is the bracket stage version. It's 4:15, so quite a bit more time than traditional Courtyard 4-7. Let's see if FireLordEthan, say that 3 times fast, is going to take advantage of that. Playing Asari in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
From the fastest game of the set to the slower character in the game. One of the 2 known very slow characters. Of course, I think we know the speeds of all of them, but there are only 2 that I remember as slow myself. And this game has been abandoned in progress, so we are just gonna go for the other one.
I was so probably the replay was said to you. I deleted one of those games, and I think that's.
I shall blame Mr. Lev of the T for this one, especially considering that Ethan did not change his spy choice. Either way, in 3, 2, 1, playing it. It's a weird thing, games in progress. I usually try to delete them myself when I'm uploading the replay, but they are a little bit annoying to catch, and I definitely do not blame the players for not doing that. And in game, if you remember it, it's pretty easy to skip past. I just forgot. 60% on the flirt. The investor right next to us.
Even as you said, the spy is the slowest. I don't think FireLordEthan thus far has been anything but slow. So I don't expect for basically either of these players to wait out as much time as possible. I think they're gonna send it all of the time. As indeed we have a banana bread. Quite a few lowlights, and there's only one conversation of real. And we were one of the highlights.
Queen next to General, of course that's going to be highlight. Thank you, Mr. Graash. And however, we are also next to our seduction target, 85% on that flirt for the time being. Maybe a nice little clock, giving us a lot of time to think about that third and fourth missions. A few years ago, I would have said inspects and fourth missions, but honestly, there has been so many different ways to do that combination of two that I'm not even sure anymore. A little bit of an issue entering this conversation.
Tap was a little bit too big because we had to awkwardly squeeze in. We do finish flirt here.
That's good.
We send Purloin and then we...
Be a green. We are gonna bail immediately afterwards, which is very suspicious. However, the list has not been taken. We are gonna go for a green swap, not even inspects. So two different high hardtails moving on.
Okay, no, we are doing inspects now.
Inspects are in
Purloin has come off. General has taken is one of the highlights. And Graash is not shooting us, which means FireLordEthan, indeed, with the slowest spy of the game, has just rushed out the final two missions and brings it back with it won yet again.
My man Ethan goes for the swap, hits a green, proceeds to get the inspects. What the hell are you doing BMing like that?
I think it was just panic. I think we just decided, because if you just press
you don't just panic and then green test it, you nerd. Yeah, I never green test a panic. Oh well. Graash,
that's why FireLordEthan is in the semifinals and we're not. Just not that good.
That is very true. That's why I'm talking about things, because I am very quick to realize when help is needed, but not very quick to realize how to help myself. Graash, playing as Queen. Unfortunately, a little bit unsure on the last game, however, has to be sure in this one, because now he's yet again behind, I think.
No, he's 5-4 up.
Anyway, I am absolutely clueless, and the game is starting in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Are we actually gonna ice him again? Okay, no, thank God. However, we do get the quick flirt, we do get the immediate bail, and all of that has been on screen. Into statues as well, which does net us a very early highlight for the statues, because we are inspecting. And one nice consequence of this is, I think, in the late stages of the game, this will get confused.
That's just a white swap. No late stages here. FireLordEthan does find the shot.
See, you can't just panic a green. Graash can't even hit a green on the swap. Honestly, could have been a calculated white here. There has been a non-zero amount of calculated
yeah, I think so, but at this point, I think when we are definitely seen here at the early game, and we don't even, I would say if we had flirt done, it would have definitely, I would say that was a calculated white. But at this point early on, we don't have flirt and we don't have contact, and we are being stared at. I just imagined it was just an action test failure. We have hit a white test, and unfortunately in this level, that just means death is right on screen.
Well, unfortunate. However, You wanted some experimental stages. We got some experimental stages. Library 4 out of 8 is one of the setups that I have been very excited to see because last time when I saw it, it has been very fun to play for my spy, and the games have always been fascinating messes. Let's see how some ruthless efficiency goes towards this venue as Ethan is going to start us off in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And we're gonna have 4 games of Library 4 out of 8, so more of what you like. Oh, that's a bug!
I do not think that was on screen, which probably means that Ethan wins this one. Well. Now, Ethan has been the one to double it, which I think is due to 2 reasons. Reason number 1 is because, well, there is quite a lot of movement around on this venue, which is a lot of passing lowlights. And number 2, you can just abuse the sniper angle to do bugs like that. First inspect is going to be a green, and so will be the second. The third inspect as green as anything else. And are gonna put stuff back and not bother with the statues ever again.
I thought we were gonna go for instant BB, but it's not the case.
See, now the funny thing is, like, we know the game is free. Graash doesn't know the game is free, but he still knows that we are highlight because we have gone to the middle statues and we are likely to try and finish the game. So now we just have to hit the timings that Graash does not think we will hit. Which is a fascinating little game, especially considering that Graash probably is off by 1 because he doesn't know that we have bugged.
Yeah, looking at the replay, that arm was definitely visible. It looked like just innocent AI bouncing. And I think we're definitely off by 1 if we're just mission counting. I don't think the bug is credited, but if we don't get this contact here sooner rather than later, sometimes getting a good contact late game is quite hard, even on Library. But seems like FireLordEthan is not going to take that risk, takes banana bread. Let's have quite a few lowlights, but at this point, I think you're more than happy with that.
And I think an off by 1 is actually even scarier on this particular variant of Library rather than on other venues, because not only it's a library, where, well, 5 out of 8, you kind of have to be pretty sure in who the spy is to get a shot off. But on the other hand, it's also very confusing. It's a weird variant of library where the mission count is off by default. So there's even higher chance that we'll get confused with something else. Considering that we only need to get 1 more flirt to finish this video game if it's a green, and 2 more flirts if it's a white, which will be an adventure.
It's gonna be
Going to be
oh
red
no!
instead.
Oh
well.
Oh, that's actually I actually really like this. We set up a seduction target to be in a better position, but we need to hit this green, and we do. Bishop count out this up. We're not even being looked at. I don't think that Graash has any idea, but we're the spy. And FireLordEthan wins the first of 4 out of 8 library games.
And, well, we are pretty close to each other so far, like within 1 game. And it's first to 11, you've said, right?
Yes, that is first to 11.
So, still quite a few more games to go. However, this next one will feature Graash playing Theft in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Now, I would never do that.
Why would you never do that?
Theft is my ambassador. He is pretty thick. He does move quite fast, which is an important thing for me because he does leave fingerprints around a lot more. At least that's how the theory goes. He's also pretty thick, which does help with bugs, but I don't bug ever because I get shot for them, so this is that. However, Graash knows that being thick not only helps with getting bugged and getting some device planted on your magnificent outwear, it also means that you can block things You can try to block the list, although I think on this angle it will be very annoying and confusing, but you can block swaps, which is more important. And also, you're very fast, so you can move around the venue and do more. Just helps a little bit with a variant such as 4 out of 8 library, where you don't get as much time.
Oh, we go green Purloin. And then we go for a 51%, and we go. Oh, I thought we're being.
And the green banana red.
And we're distracted
And
from
the
the
list
Purloin.
taken.
Yeah, I think we're distracted from the list being taken. Yeah, now the list is being taken. FireLordEthan takes a look. We do get a highlight for it.
That has been a pretty weird stop, I'd say. But we do eat the highlight. The lowlights have been delivered, and, well, we are one of 3. Well, one of 4, theoretically, and there are 2 highlights, so that's sad. We do have 51% flirt, and then we need to figure out the 4th mission. So I'm interested to see what will happen. That's a bug attempt, and
Yeah, the hand was waving at the sniper.
You hate to see this. You hate to see this. I think it's kind of fine-ish. I understand the idea. Unfortunately, the angle just didn't quite work out. And, well, that does result.
Yeah, you can see at the sniper replay cam that there's a definite wave of the arm there at the end there.
I think if Duke is slightly slower or doesn't move at all, it works a lot better. Unfortunately. Well, that's how the chips fall, and the chips fall in such a way that Ethan now takes the advantage. And we're just getting started with library, by the way. Because now Ethan is slamming the small man button. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
I think
Quick
we're
reminder,
definitely
Graash.
halfway in. You would be more accurate, but I will allow
Graash
it.
only got 3 wins on Terrace, so if Ethan closes it out 4-0, he will be ahead.
It's currently
And,
ahead
well,
7-5 anyways.
Yes, but like the doubles are even more important. Because if you can lock out your own double, that not only sends a message to you, but also sends a message to the person you will be playing in the finals if you win.
It's a big if.
You should probably ban a library, because I did just 4-0 Graash on that one.
Just
You know, that sounds pretty compelling to me.
that would be a message indeed. But if someone likes library himself, maybe it's not even if FireLordEthan likes it, they may not be inclined to bet. Oh, I thought we were going to go for the we're gonna go stand behind the pillar there and try to do a Purloin, but unfortunately we were sticking out, and I think FireLordEthan correctly decided that we're not gonna do that. With that early floor done, we're just kind of been walking around, and never mind, as soon as I say it, we do that time.
I think this is good. This is not just good because it's timed, it brings the time a little bit closer to the usual 5 out of 8.
It's gonna be a swap cheese? It is!
Oh, yikes.
And the sniper laser was on the other side.
Yikes.
We were totally off screen.
Graash did never see that, I think.
He just took a look at the statues now, but if he only just completely misses it, I'm not sure actually. So I think we just completely missed it. And we go Purloin, and we go Purloin.
FireLordEthan, why do you have to bully my man so much?
The time match into a mission rush. Mission win countdown
Damn
is
it.
up. The
List
list
has
is
been
taken.
taken.
Yes. And no reaction thus far.
Oh,
And
this is
FireLordEthan
horrible.
wins yet another library game, going up by 3.
Absolutely horrible. Why do you have to do it to this man? Ethan, what a disgusting little game. A perfect example
Yeah,
of
at this
why
moment
you
we're
want to play
swapping.
Smallman.
We're technically seeing here at this very moment here, bring up the statue, but we immediately go focus right on the other side of the conversation, and
I am 100% certain we were not seen at that statue, man. Because look at this yet again, right? You are going there, And while you are going there, you get covered by a lowly DA. A lowly DA has pretty much the same coloration as a general Smallman outfit, so either way,
Okay, I guess the correct term is technically he could have seen it. It was being
seen,
very,
but we sure as hell were not watched.
Yeah.
Either way, a Graash recognizing the true power of love, ending up with Queen and our seduction target, which that is actually not correct. Either way, in 3, 2, 1, playing it. What an atrocious choice of a seduction target. Come on, Graash, you can do better. Although, I think he's also quite rattled after the last game, so...
Oh, and a wrong on bug! An immediate early wrong on bug.
See, back in my day, General Walking Back has been notorious for how hard it is to see. I think having 4 people in the immediate vicinity of the investor at the time also does not help matters, as well as the fact that you are zooming the laser all across the stage trying to remember the statues. And well, it's Ethan's time to be off by 1, that's all I can say.
And we're going to statues again, and this has been done previous times, so if you suspect that a spy could do something similar as well, you could shoot on 3 missions and 4, but that's way tougher, I will admit. And we're not even getting highlight for statues.
Yes, but this we were actually seen compared to Smallman's the last time
Yeah, okay,
around,
now
and
it's a
here's
highlight.
highlight.
Okay, now it's a highlight. I thought that we're somehow missed, but not the case.
General, unfortunately for him, is a little bit too large to get missed in the sauce. And also, I think this shade of green is a lot more noticeable and a lot more seeable compared to the black of the Smallman tuxedo.
It's minute 40 left. We don't have time, and if we don't get this 2 flirt in, this could be a pretty ticky flirt finish. If you get 2 flirt, then yes, you have plenty of time. But if in case this is just a white test, then we're gonna have to kind of rush this. It is a green, and we just barely get it off in time.
What do you think about going from middle statues to middle statues? Do you think it's more suspicious or less suspicious?
It's neutral, I would say.
Like, do you even care about that? That's even more interesting.
What I care about is going back to the same person that I just was nearby 20 seconds ago, and we didn't even get a flirt here. And the DA leaves as well, and the seduction target again in another conversation, in another statue rather. But this time we have a book, so we can't follow.
Statues to middle statues to middle statues. Let's go.
We have a book. So out of, of course, as you know, reading books at statues is not allowed. We have a contact coming off.
It's allowed if the sniper lets you.
I don't think it's in the etiquette in the party
itself. I thought about that one, huh?
I think it's written in the document, in the dossier of the party itself. But we do have green for that's clutch. Mission countdown is up.
That's off by 1. There's no Hartles, nothing to watch, nothing to see. Did you see this flirt? No, you did not. And the fake banana bread in the last second, surely to get some of the mental pressure off of yourself and maybe put some on your opponent. Graash does not get swept on the opponent's double.
Yeah, this bug was perfectly executed and perfectly hidden. But from the sniper side here, it is definitely, whilst you technically can't credit it, it's a very clean bug, and that, as you mentioned, throws off FireLordEthan count by 1, and Graash is only down by 2, heading into Moderne.
Hey, remember how you liked balcony? But what about if we have bigger balcony? You will say that's stairs, but hey, what about if we had the biggest balcony? Here we go. Moderne, 4 out of 8, 4:15 on the clock. Sick as our spy and Ethan as our player on spy in 3, 2, 1, playing it. You like the biggest balcony, right?
Technically, you say so. And we immediately have a white time ads.
We haven't been shot for it yet, so that's good. There are 2 lowlights, so maybe Graash understands what is going on. Which I don't think there would be lowlights outside of SDAs this early if we did not suspect any scrumptious cheese thrown around. Well, we are right next to our seduction target, so life is good for us because our little bowl stuff has only resulted in 2 lowlights, neither of which were us. Which is a little bit sad, but at least it's not a highlight.
Does give quite a lot. Oh, we do a delegate cheese and then immediately return into conversation or seduction target. So, oh, unfortunately, it's a white for not a green. You would love to finish that, but
Do people actually care about delegate cheese in this day and age?
I mean, if it's not noticed, then definitely could care. But and look at this, we're gonna be sending out the delegate whilst in the middle of a bar rush.
I don't think this takes, but it does create. It sure does create a lot of commotion.
I think it
us
definitely
to
takes.
pick up the delegate afterwards.
Oh no, it doesn't
sorry,
take actually.
The purloin afterwards. Our fingerprints, however, are gonna be green as our arrow. A few highlights to bar are going up, notably not us because we was just before the rush and not during it. So Ethan, the delegate did not result. Delegate did result in the list being taken. Pardon me. Oh boy.
And we
Not
get a
actually
fingerprint at the
scary.
book. Let's see the reaction. We are not lowlets.
Not lowlit.
Never mind.
We are lowlit. Well, that seems to be over. We just
Banana
need
bread.
one more flirt. We need the banana bread, which we have just put out. And, well, this is a mission win countdown that I don't think Graash ever gets a shot on correctly, because I don't think he ever gets a shot here at all.
Indeed, we don't get a shot. FireLordEthan. This last hour, no breaks this set as well from him. And yet again, a quick spy win, especially on Moderne. That's, I'd say 2.5 minutes, because we did have a time ad early on.
It's longer than a balcony game. That can't be that fast.
I mean, typically shorter than the biggest balcony game, rather. But
That is very true. Speaking of biggest balcony, wanna see one more game?
absolutely, I do.
Let's get over with it in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Really, now's the time on this big old crusade to figure out if I can make Moderne likable by literally anyone. What are your opinions about Moderne? Do you like it?
It's a bit too sniper side at the higher end to my liking. There's definitely some plays to be made. I am not gonna slide, and we are taking the book out, so I imagine we're gonna. I'm not sure. Sometimes you take out a book just to waste time, but as I mentioned, come back to the conversation about Moderne, a bit too sniper side, if I'm honest, and spy plays are a bit tougher than I would like on this venue. But it's still a unique venue, and I kind of like it, just by that sense. In any case, we have a red book, a 51% flirt, and no seduction inside.
Well, is in hand. I don't think it goes back into red. Because the more movement you do, the higher chance of a highlight from Ethan.
Banana bread.
And
Oh.
I would rather much make all of my movements count. Would include...
Oh, we're picking up a brief here right next to the ambassador. Oh, that is a big
Action best
blunder.
priority. Checker!
So,
Oh no.
so we actually send the book, go to the correct book, but we
We go to the briefcase.
yeah
Haven't
we
you seen
I think what we wanted to do is we wanted to frame Alice here, who has been at bar, and we pretended to when the AI to quickly explain, the AI gets delegated with the book, they'll quickly slam the book into the bookshelf and then go immediately to bar. I think that's what happened, but instead Graash grabs the book and immediately he grabs the briefcase out and immediately gets shot.
I would have loved to slam into a different bookshelf though. I think I would have liked that more compared to going to the ambassador for it. And not even the briefcase, but Devil put a briefcase right on top of that pad just so Graash could pick it up and get shot for it. Either way, we may potentially be one game off because Ethan is now on 10 and Graash has to keep playing out of his damn mind if he wants to, well, go to the finals. Let's see how this will go in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And now on to one of my favorite venues, actually, which I know is not for a lot of people. I will say it's definitely polarizing.
That for sure. We have seen a very interesting variant of Aquarium on the second group stage, I believe, which means that I didn't get to play it, but it sounded interesting in theory. I don't think I remember anything about it in practice, which means that it wasn't as
It
interesting
was
as I hoped
3
it
out
would
of
be.
6 with no inspects.
Yeah, and I kind of like the concept. Yet again, I don't think many people who got to the second group stage and actually played the variant liked it. But it seemed interesting in theory, so I'm glad that we tried it, at least.
Banana bread.
Anyway, speaking of missions, there are only 3 remaining as we get the banana bread off and get to flirt. There are quite a number of loadouts actually so far already. I do believe Aquarium is kind of a passing venue.
It's also Graash's favorite venue. Alongside
Banana bread.
Ballroom.
Oh, and the second banana bread. This one, green and theft, is going somewhere. Are we being sent?
No, we didn't
No,
send.
no, of course not.
But a nice second fake there. Yeah, maybe knew that one of the SDAs come into the other conversations, and indeed he was correct.
I'm not sure how much I like a fake that results in us being highlighted, but we are gonna take this book out and we are gonna shockwalk it. Oh, 12. Let's see if Graash has. Ooh, no, our legs are visible. However, on Aquarium, it's a little bit weird. The book is transferred.
No
Graash,
reaction
did you
from
see it?
Graash. Laser's
Did you
literally
see the
standing
cheesy
still.
cheese? No, but he sure as hell did see the ask for a drink. There's going to be our delegate. 2 missions done, 2 more to go. I think people usually assume bug on this venue because good bugs are very hard to catch. So there's still a chance for Graash to skip passes off by 1, or Graash also could have seen Ethan transfer and is just letting him play out the game.
Yeah, if you are sure that there's at this point there's could only possibly be 3 missions. Let's just say that this floor has been just completed. So if you are sure that the character that is the spy that you're watching can only do 3 missions,
Delegate to Alolit?
yeah, we're delegating to a low.
have
I don't think this will take.
Well, if it does, that's our 4th. If it does not, we still need to figure out something alongside that last use, which we still have not completed. So, block is... Ooh, and Graash is looking very close on those hands. Both Theft and Rocker are all here, and the Shark is coming through. Ooh,
It is a middle shark,
All
so
on
it's
deck.
not as an ideal cover as you would want to, but still. Oh, we go and pick up the single briefcase. We're gonna go to oh no!
Is that shift?
Oh, we're going for a
And
bug.
he goes for a bug. He tries to dance. The dance is not working because Rocker is not wearing a hat, so he's not quite as safe of a dance that she wanted.
Yeah, I want to go back quickly to that transfer. So so not the ideal shark walk. Maybe it's just from the replay camera because it is slightly
does
off.
have a tendency to have a very weird set of interactions with the shark because it's not exact on most replays. But yeah, you see that Ethan unfortunately seems to encounter some issues in the shark walk, which Graash notably did not point out to us. There has been a highlight for it for the next action, which could have been for that or could have been for us going to the bar. And I think Graash saw it, but I also think that Graash tried to make it seem like he didn't see it, which is pretty nice little optimization from the guy. However, that's only one game. He needs 3 more to get onto the overtime. Let's see if he does in 3, 2, 1, playing it. A little bit of AI control until we get to our first conversation, which I think makes sense to me.
Far away flirt for 80%.
That is not the best, but you know what? It's still better than 0. Usually.
I don't know a situation where 18% is worse than 0%.
Well, 0% does not trigger a flirt cooldown.
That's
my immediate answer. So, in a situation like, say, the easiest one I can imagine is probably balcony 30 seconds to go. You hit a white instead of a green that would have finished you the mission. You're now stuck. You can't get this cooldown down fast enough without looking like a spy because you have to bail yourself and then move back. So it's sometimes better to just red test the thing and try to get a white afterwards rather than get a white and fail.
Banana bread.
It is a good point. Yeah, banana bread. It's another 4
Neither of
lowlights.
those things is, however, a highlight for it because Ethan is taking some real banana bread highlights, which is a thing that I actually quite like with snipers at this level. Because not many. Ooh, and look at that! Because we had a white 18% flirt, now we get the nice little 69. Unfortunately, not quite 100, but you know what? We'll get there.
For Graash's sake, if he wants to continue into the tournament, he will definitely need to get to 100%. Or get other
nice
3
little
missions.
Frame on, say, Sari, who is now walking to the bar. I'm not sure how good it will end up for Graash if we try to frame the other highlight, but there's still a chance. There's always still a chance.
Yeah, the problem is that this party is quite well down. Yeah, another low light onto boots there. We do finish flirt.
I just love the real banana bread highlights. There are things that more people should do at this level because not too many people play around the banana bread. Not too many people do a second banana bread because usually the first one is all you need and you're more bothered with all of the other missions you need to do compared to playing the mind game. So this is me telling all of you good players who are definitely better than I am because I'm over here talking about how you should be doing more real banana bread highlights and more banana breads. But you know what? I think it's a type of thing that works. Not in every game, but you know, in a classic example here where Ethan is ahead, Ethan only needs 1 game, so he can try to experiment a little bit. Also helps as well.
I imagine this Perlin will be sent anytime now. Oh, and we send it to Smallman immediately.
Smallman has a book in hand, so he will have to slam and do the jab.
And that is death for Graash. FireLordEthan clutches the set 11-7 and moves on to the finals of the Twinlight Zone tournament.
Yeah.
Good old 7-11. Graash knocked down to a third place match, which could potentially happen. Or it could not, I don't know. There has been precedent in the past for this to not happen. Has been a precedent for this to happen. I am personally more of a fan of playing more SpyParty. However, congratulations to Ethan. Commiserations to Graash. And that is pretty nice little story for Ethan himself, who has been one of a newer players in the tournament, I believe.
Yeah,
But
comparatively
has been
so, yes.
grinding up high and has been probably the main pathing sniper in the community for the now being. Because I think Martini has not been quite as active. Either way, that has been our first semifinal.